Hey, David.
Nicole,
Can you believe this?
here we go.
We're having a jam session here. We're real jam.
Yes, we are. It's going to be a great day today.
Dinner.
Yeah.
What a way to start a Monday, right?
Oh, God, this is great.
Just listen to Jay play this whole time. Like, we don't need to talk. Let's just
No,
listen.
we're just rolling today.
And we're live.
Nice.
Bravo, man.
Well, Nicole, this is awesome because our Monday motivation, manufacturing, e-commerce success is kicking off. We never kicked off like this before.
This
And
is
it's so good.
First.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about getting the most out of your digital marketing today. Nicole, take it away.
Man, what a way to start the show, Jay Skinner.
No
I have
doubt.
to say that was amazing. As a fellow musician, not nearly as great as a musician as you are, I can tell you that right now. But as someone who plays the piano and loves to play the organ, that was amazing. Thank you for that wonderful intro and keeping it fun and jazzy for us. That's so cool. I can tell already you're a Renaissance man.
I guess I am. And I was telling one of my friends, Jeffrey Gittimer, the king of sales, said, Jay, you need to write a book, Do, Re, Mi, How I Played My Way to the Top. I have used my piano playing and my showmanship since I was a little boy. And then when it comes to trade shows and doing business and everything, find a crowd, find a piano, and we make friends.
Oh, I love it. Very cool.
That's awesome. There's very few things that are as special as finding someone that can play the piano well and just hanging out and listening to music and talking around a piano.
Yep.
So true. Yeah.
And when it comes to like showing up at a party or I love, like in business, doing a trade show and you get down the lobby of the hotel for the convention or something. And I'm always finding that piano. And I just sit down and start ripping off a couple tunes, have some fun. Before you know it, you got a crowd, and I've got my badge on, Jay Skinner, and whatever it is I'm selling for, 30 years. I was selling plastic pallets.
Yeah.
I was pallets, PALLETS.com. That's a pretty good URL.
Oh boy.
That's a great
.com for 30 years. Yep. And
you must have got that one real early because I bet
we got that back when Al Gore invented the internet.
Very well done.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of folks chiming in here. We've got
Diane showing up.
Hi, Diane. Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
We got Gary.
We've got our dear friend Gary. He's my spirit animal turtle over there. Gary, welcome to the show.
All right, everyone.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So go ahead, Nicole. Let's take this thing and get rolling.
Well, we have to honor Kurt. We miss Kurt. We wish he could be here with us. He always brings such incredible energy. So we're missing your energy, Kurt.
We miss you.
Yes. Wherever you are, just know we're sending you lots of love.
Yeah, I want to tell Kurt
always.
In honor.
I want to do a show with you sometime when you're live. But today you're out doing something special. And I'm so happy I got Nicole and Damon. How cool is that?
It just means you're going to have to come back on the show when Kurt will be here so that you guys can have a fun jam.
We'll do it again.
Well, I met Kurt through the Manufacturing Engineering Partnership, Purdue University in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
I was recommended to, I had one of my clients, packaging systems, was very involved there. I've been working with the MEP to help improve their situation. And man, part of it was all of a sudden I get these emails saying he got to know Kurt Anderson, and boy, do I love him. I love his show, love the people he brings on, love the work that he does. So Kurt Anderson, you're the man.
All right.
Man, what a great shout out for sure.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it is.
Well, in honor of Kurt, Jay, we have got to ask the question that he always asks every guest that comes on the show. It's always a winner question. So the question is, when you were a little boy growing up, where did you grow up, Jay, first of all? What was your where'd you grow up?
Best question ever. Carthage, Indiana is where I started. It was a little country town until then in 5th grade, I moved to the north side of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Nice. So when you were a little
Wow.
boy growing up in Carthage, Indiana,
Yes.
who was your hero?
My dad.
Oh,
He was, oh, why did you do this to me? He was 50 years old when I was born. My mom was 45.
wow.
And
Wow.
I'm a little kid out there by the school playing, shooting baskets at probably the ripe old age of 6. And someone said, "Hey, where's your old man?" You know, it's like, don't call my dad old man.
Yeah.
But the thing was, by having older parents, I got raised in a reared in a way that gave me the opportunity to go out there, and I didn't know a stranger. I thought every kid talks to adults all the time. I went to every party, every meeting,
Yeah.
everything. And they put me in a position to be successful that way. There never was a thing that said, "Oh, Jay, you're too little, too young, too stupid, too anything to not do that." It was, "You can do whatever you want to, honey. Come along, get in the car. We're going to do this or do that." And it was my dad,
Nice.
William Herschel Skinner. And my mom, Mary Elizabeth Skinner, gotta love her. She was always cheering me on.
Right there.
So you had
Good.
your mom for your cheerleader, and you had your dad who was like, "You can do anything. You can be in any room you want to." You can
And mom was that way, and dad was the example. He was the quiet strength. He was a, a big guy in the community. He was a big guy in politics. He helped get governors and senators done. He was the state personnel director for Indiana. He was I mean, dad did huge things. And one of the biggest things he did was a township trustee. And he was out there like feeding the hungry and helping take care of poor people and stuff. And it's like I learned about taking care of people and loving people from my parents.
Amazing. Well, I can feel that energy from you here today that you're just really passionate about that. That's so cool. We got a few more guests chiming in. We got to say hi to Michael Barboza Hernandez.
Hey,
Hi,
Michael.
Yeah,
Glad
there you
you're
go.
here. Salud.
Thanks for
Good.
joining us. And we also have Nancy O'Leary. We love Nancy.
Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. How are you? Looking forward to a great conversation. So, there's no doubt this is going to be fun, Jay.
Yes.
You know, I'm just so thankful that, and those of you that use StreamYard, they have a new feature now. So in addition to using your link, I was able to link in my LinkedIn channel and my YouTube channel. And so it's like very cool. People that know me, and I like, there's Joseph. Hello, Joseph. Joseph, are you coming all the way from Africa? I think you are. My group, Nancy O'Leary, Michael Barbosa. I have an international audience. I love my people,
Nice.
and it's fun for them to jump on and want to know what's going on.
Yeah. It is.
Oh.
And it is a nice feature too. I'm going out to our with our Facebook and our company LinkedIn's right now as well. It's nice to be able to do that. So, and Joseph's coming from Germany. Awesome.
Yeah, Joseph.
International presence.
Good to
This
see
is
you.
cool. Loving it.
Yeah.
Hi, Joseph from Germany. What part of Germany are you tuning in for? Let us know.
Let us know, Joseph. Yeah, it's like put your last name on there, Joseph. Let me know because I think I know who you are. Anyway, I've done business on every continent except for Antarctica. And if you got any customers in Antarctica for me, let's go.
You've done business in every continent.
Hey, Jody's listening too. Great.
I have to ask. You've done business in every continent.
Joe Steingraber, okay, man. He's the electric guy. This is the guy. If you got static, he knows how to get rid of it. He's a huge guy in the world of eliminating static. When you have big machines that move, like film machines and stuff like that, and that creates static electricity, he's one of the pioneers in how to eliminate that and make great things happen. And Joseph and he's like all over the world. He's got houses in like multiple continents and a very successful, smart guy. Good to have you, Joseph. Liz Thibault, good to see you.
Yes, very cool. So you've worked on every continent. So I got to ask. What's it like? What are the differences in doing business in America versus doing business in Africa or Europe or Asia or Australia? Tell us.
Well, it's like I got books and things around me, but one of the things that I do before I go to a foreign country is I will pull out my, it's like kiss, bow, or shake hands. And there's actually a book about
Yeah.
that.
Huh?
And
Yep.
I will look up the country that I'm going to and understand what some of the customs are and
Mm.
understand some very important things. And Joe says Antarctica is the only one I missed too. I know it, Joseph. We'll eventually get there. Maybe we'll do a deal there together. That would be fun. Anyway, so like for instance, here in the United States, we're rebels. That's where we came out of. That's what
Yeah.
we do. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you get to other countries, let me take France, for instance.
Mhm.
You've heard about the ugly American. Well, I get it because Americans go over there and there's two things happening there. And the French guys don't like the Americans, the American guys don't like the French people. And the funny thing is it's because here's why. At least I think I figured it out. The Americans don't even want to learn how to say, hello or goodbye
Bonjour, merci.
or ask anything in a foreign language. They want to learn anything. And the French people, when they try to speak English, because of their accent and how they work it, they sound angry to our ears.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we like take an exception and think they're mad. They're not mad. They're just trying to say the English words and be good. And so there's this weird combination thing that goes on. When I go to Asia, it's like across the board, a lot higher level of respect when you're doing business, and you need to be more respectful. And then if you're bowing, for instance, is like you learn this at the dojo. If you haven't already, learn it now. When you bow, eyes down. Don't do this. That means you don't trust them.
Interesting.
Bow with your eyes down. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Know some words.
Mm.
And people love you. And when it's all said and done, I haven't met a country or a people or a society that I don't love or can't love. And we all get along. It's great.
Oh, love it. Amazing. You have such a varied experience and history. I mean, you have the CEO extender, which I'm excited to learn more about. How did you end up starting that company? And it looks like you've got so much experience with this pallet company. So maybe
Yes.
walk us down and tell us a little bit your journey, your career, how you
Yeah.
started out, and kind of how you ended up to where you are now.
Well, we always talk about, I'll say this. As a little boy, I played Jesus Loves Me on the kazoo in church at the ripe old age of about 6. I mean, I was going to the Methodist church and I
Yeah.
kept seeing the special music and the boys on the trumpets and stuff from high school. And I said, and so I don't even really know how I organized it, but I organized it. I said, I can do that. And I stood up there and I played Jesus Loves Me on the kazoo. That was my first really big performance.
Amazing.
But then as time went on, I found out that I could weave pot holders and sell them door to door in that little town of Carthage. And I did it. It was safe and you could do that stuff. Well,
Yeah.
as I got older, my mom wanted me to be a doctor and stuff. I got into music. I wanted to do that. I did things. But I did find this out as I got older. If you want to make some money, sales is probably a really good place to go. In fact, it's where you go when everything else fails to work out. Now, if some of you are career sales guys and that's what you want to be, good for you. But I'll tell you what, I know a lot of sales guys is that's the last thing they ever thought they'd end up doing.
Yeah.
But when they got into it and applied themselves, and then they said, I don't want to be in the bottom 80%, I want to be in the top 20 or 10% of them. Start reading books, Zig Ziglar, Jeffrey Kittimer, Brian Tracy, Dennis Waitley, and get to know these guys too. Like it's like when I read a book, I call the author and get to know them. I don't know if anybody ever thinks about doing that, but most of these guys are highly accessible. And so over the years,
Such great advice.
I've been calling authors and getting to know them. So I know a lot of these guys. It's very cool.
Oh,
And so I wanted to be in the top. And then when you read about this stuff or you go to the, self-education, continuous education, getting smarter and smarter and smarter.
Mhm.
Most sales guys have only did one seminar and read one book like 20 years ago. And they live off of, Zig said this.
yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, well, time has moved on, guy. You got to keep getting smarter. I hope my surgeon did when he gave me an operation a week ago.
Yeah.
I want him to keep up on the latest and greatest. And as a salesman, it's a profession as well. So I go into sales. I get good at that, decide to be on the top of it. And I go job to job to job to job to job. And then all of a sudden I wake up in 1993 and I get called to be part of a startup called Stratus Plastic Pallets. We didn't call it that then. It was just Stratus Corporation. And it was doing some packaging kind of stuff. And I had a couple of years of experience with plastic pallets and plastics and packaging that I'd rolled into.
Yeah.
And fortunately, no non-competes or anything like that. And I joined this company. We started up. They moved the headquarters to Indianapolis. They had 1 year under their belt, just kind of getting some things together. But I helped them find the market, the types of molding, the types of things that we might do. And we launched a company that became pallets.com. And in 2007, we sold to private equity. Then again in 2012. And then 2018, it was like, I stayed with it. I wasn't one of the owners, but I stayed with it. And then about October 2018, I took a job in another area entirely, and just to kind of do something else. It was beautiful. It wasn't as fun as it used to be. I helped build a multi-million-dollar international company, but you hear about private equity. When they get to the point where they're running the show by EBITDA, the what I call that, the battle cry of the private equity guy, the PE guys, the venture capitalists, EBITDA. Well, it's like I didn't even know that word until we got bought the first time. All I knew is just keep making money, man. Pile it up over there and let them count it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I built this along with the owner of the company. And then 18, I got out, did something else, worked for a couple other guys, did some other stuff. And all of a sudden I realized I wanted to do on my own what I'd been asking other people to pay me to do for them. And there I was.
Oh.
When I started working for business owners, because that's what I've always done, started doing jobs and getting projects done for business owners at the highest level.
Cool.
I mean, there's nothing I can't do. Seriously, in a business, I can't imagine that you could throw something out and say, if it's manufacturing efficiencies, if it's going back to manufacturing, if it's all developing a marketing program, if it's doing a sales program, it's helping teach people how to sell, if it's help doing product development. I got like 8 patents. I'm a right and left brain thinker.
My gosh.
So
like I said, Renaissance man.
To work for them.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh my gosh. Well,
Nice.
I have a couple follow-up questions. Okay, taking it back.
Was that too long?
Okay, you said you called authors of the books that you read. I got to know.
Yeah.
Who was the most interesting person that you talked to? What did they say that was most surprising when you called them?
Okay. Well, let me go back to the first one because this will be about 1980. Dr. Tony Alessandra. He wrote Non-Manipulative Selling, and he's one of the fathers of the DISC system. And well known. If you go in here, you'll see his stuff. And he's got now 23, 26 different books now, and he's become a real good friend of mine. And now he has a company called Assessments 24x7, and he's one of the fathers of online assessments worldwide. So he's one of the top ones. And what was interesting with him is, sure, Jay, I'll be your friend. And his book changed my sales life. I went from reading this and learning and understanding about developing rapport and what makes people tick. From where I was before, I wasn't too bad, but man, it probably doubled or tripled my sales at the time in the business that I was in. And then he was also so kind as I grew in my life. I would call him on the phone and say, Tony, I got a sales meeting here and I got a bunch of salespeople and I'm teaching them your book. Would you come on the speakerphone and motivate them? They've gone through it. They understand the principles. And wouldn't it be cool if you just showed up? And that guy would just do that. He wouldn't charge me. He would just come on, talk.
That's nice.
And he was good friends with Brian Tracy. And then he and Jim Cathcart worked with Earl Nightingale to do stuff. And so that was good.
Cool.
One of the people that I contacted was Jeffrey Gitomer, Little Red Book of Selling, the king of sales. Now, Jeffrey's has about 16, 17 bestsellers in the millions in terms of volume, that he sold. And I recommend this as a great book, and you go with anything Jeffrey Gitomer. So I read the book. He shows up online live during the, the pandemic. He was doing lives. I was like, holy cow. Well, I get on there. I chatted in a couple of times. Next thing you know, he gives me a call. We become besties. So for the last 3 years, Jeffrey and I are doing stuff together, and that's lots of fun.
Very cool.
Super cool.
Man.
And then fill in the blanks in between. Jim Cathcart, somebody that I've gotten to know very well here recently. When You're the Speaker and a bunch of other books, National Speakers Association, kind of big deal. When Brian Tracy came to town, it's like, hey, Jay, and we got to spend time together back in his dressing room before he went on. Oh, did I mention in 1978, 79, I met at the Positive Thinking Rally here in Indianapolis, I met Zig Ziglar and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. And at that point, I was a writer, a photographer, and a circulation manager for a small newspaper, which gave me credentials.
Yeah. Yeah.
About 10 years later, I was the limousine driver for Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia.
No way.
No, and I was the limousine driver when who was it? The Elton John came to Purdue to do a concert. I took him from the airport over to the thing. He said, well, as long as you're a piano player, come on in. And I got to sit down on his piano and evaluate the acoustics in the auditorium, standing there on stage with Elton John. How fun was that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
incredible.
Okay, so hey, people came on. I mean, they want to know about the topic.
Yeah.
How to get the most out of your digital marketing.
Let's get to that. I mean, your life is so interesting. I mean, this could be, we could spend a lot of time on this, but it is. We did come here to talk about getting the most out of digital marketing and out of your digital marketing agency. I had to look at the title there, but so Jay, when you're coming in, these companies are spending a lot of money. A lot of them have a digital marketing agency, and they're just kind of on retainer. And what are some of the things that you're seeing when you come in?
Yeah, tell me, because I'm a digital marketing agency, so I got to hear it.
Okay, so I'm going to answer Joe's question. And he says, what's the name of the book again? Non-manipulative selling techniques or non-manipulative selling. Ivan Meisner, you ever heard of him? He's a good guy too. He's the founder of BNI. Talk about networking.
Yep.
But non-manipulative selling, Tony Alessandra, that was the book. Okay. Sorry, man. I just, when people come on, they start asking questions. It's like, I got to answer them.
Yeah. The other one you mentioned too was the Little Red Book of Sales.
Yes. So, The Little Red Book of Sales by Jeffrey Gitomer. Okay. And I typed in my TheJay.Skinner.com, which is my website. You go there, you can click on the internet web. I do a show every week, and you can contact me there, get to know me there, and you can see all my shows. You can go to my podcast list and everything, and see all the people I know and have talked to. I do a combination of interviews with people like this, and I riff on topics on my own as well. Okay, so sorry. What was the question?
How do you get the most out? Like, what are,
out of a digital marketing agency, because you come into these companies, right? And they got this retainer. It's all going on already. And they go, it doesn't feel right.
Exactly. And here's the scenario. As me as the CEO extender, the business owner hires me and he brings me on to do some projects that he knows needs to get done. And it's oftentimes it's like, what are you doing for your social media presence, your web and all this kind of stuff? He says, oh, we're paying, it could be anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000, $8,000 a month to, XYZ.com, a digital marketing company, and their job is to do posting and do our website and all this stuff and pay-per-click and all this kind of stuff. And we have a monthly meeting and they tell us all this stuff. I said, great. How's it going? And they go, pretty good, I guess. I know we need it. I suppose it's working. But frankly, Jay, and this is the relationship I have, is I don't really know what they're talking about. And I'm not sure how to assess the value of what they're doing and how it's working. And I go, I got it. Well, don't let the white hair fool you. I've been doing computers since they were invented. And it's like, I'm either their best friend or their worst enemy, but let me start sitting in on those monthly meetings and get to know them and be the representative at your business as you to them. And I'll help them understand that not there's a new sheriff in town. I'm not trying to get rid of them. I'm what it is I want to keep them going, but they generally had a lot of energy when they started the first 3 or 6 months.
Yeah.
Came and
Yeah.
took pictures, videos, the whole shooting match, got everything all set up, and it was wonderful. And then it starts to wane, and then you have these monthly account executive meetings, and they say, well, you're up 3%, 10%, 20% of this, and we did your pay-per-click, and we allocating this much to this and this much to that and everything. And they talk in terms of percentages and stuff like this, and then the number of calls and the number of conversions. And it's like most of my business owner customers are kind of glazing over, and they just trust it. They don't have a big marketing department, not one at all, really. And they
Mhm.
kind of hired this digital marketing company to be that for them. What they don't understand is that the digital marketing company has other customers. And unless they have someone inside the company to feed them information, to be there, to be available on the phone, kind of like at a moment's notice, and to build a collaboration after a while, when they realize the only guy I can talk to is the CEO and he hasn't got time for me, and then the other guys are too busy selling, then all of a sudden the digital marketing agency slumps into kind of a rhythm that's less than what could be wonderful. Well, what do? I work for the company. I am the representative. What do you need? What are we talking about? How are we going to build this thing up? What are we going to do? Okay, great. I've got some ideas. Oh, it's like, and I work with them and I'm on the monthly calls, but I'm also on everyday calls, whatever it takes. We've got the website, we've got the social media. What's the posting frequency? What are you doing for pay-per-click? How's it going? I mean, no, don't just tell me percentages and don't compare it to like a really bad week. Let's talk about what we're doing and how this works. What are your recommendations for this? How are we doing this and that, this and that? Oh my gosh. And they're saying, I can just see when they hang up from the call, this guy's done this before.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand search engine optimization, not only back in the old days when we used to hide white type and white backgrounds.
Yeah.
I understand it today too. And I can be fun with that digital marketing agency if they want to start earning their money like they did the first 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, you're right on point there. As a digital marketing agency, we do find the most success when we're working with, there's already someone internally who owns the marketing department. And then you can build a really great long-term relationship rapport where it's very collaborative and there you're brainstorming that strategy always month over month. You're constantly looking at how you can improve, what you can be doing better. And, we've been in situations where there isn't that internal marketer in-house who's managing it. And it's much more challenging to get the time and the voice and the buy-in from the executive leadership. And you need that. You absolutely need that. And that internal marketer really is the bridge. And when you have that relationship, that internal marketer, they're just so happy to have your support. They're like, you're an extension of us. You're helping me with, I've got to do 50 billion other things and you're doing this part of it. And it's just such a huge support for me. So I can't echo everything you're just saying, because there can be that disconnect when you don't have that internal champion who's there to help you. So it's great that you're doing that, because that really does make all the difference in terms of the impact that you can have. Because a lot of times if the agency is starting to sputter out, it really is because there's not a relationship there. There's not someone in leadership that's paying attention or cares, even if the agency has been trying to get their attention and really, it's a challenge. So you're right on.
Yeah.
Love it.
But here, so an example is one of my customers that is just, what I work as a CEO extender. I'm like a fractional CEO. I am the CEO when I'm in my position. And it's about, like the equivalent of 7 to 10 hours a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. And if I have to travel like extra days and things like that, there's no surprises. They pay me a set amount, and it's like, it's way better than if I was full-time because I cost a lot of money. But if it's just a little bit, it's like, okay, we can handle that. And they notice that once I'm on board, they get a lot more than just 7 to 10 hours a week most of the time.
Yeah.
Because my heart's in it. I'm sleeping. I'm trying to do stuff and help them and get things done.
Yep.
And the owner of the company loves it because when he buys a new company, I walk in, I'm him. And so there's only so much of him to go around, but he can trust me just to simply walk in and help get things done, or say, Jake, go up to this new acquisition, help organize some stuff. And that's what I did. In one company that I did packaging systems, they bought a company called Small Quantity Boxes. And can I show you the work that I did there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's a, for instance, one of the biggest things was packaging systems had gone into their own digital marketing program, but at the same time, Small Quantity Boxes, which they bought, had done some stuff, and this was an acquisition. We rebranded the company from Small Quantity Boxes to Personalized Packaging Systems. We came up with some characters because we wanted to be really, really different. And we wanted to get away from the idea that it's only small quantity. So if someone needs 50 or 100 personalized boxes in what they're doing, absolutely. But at the same time, if they want to, truckloads, I want people to recognize we can handle that as well. We do that kind of work in all sorts of things. And we also added some additional, we call product pillars. So we got personalized printed boxes, polypropylene paper and printed tapes, flexible printed sleeves, promotional items, and then even an online store, which is an e-marketing store where people can get on and buy stuff, and they can buy naked packaging, and then say, I want to talk to someone about getting it dressed up, because you can go to don'tpackagenaked.com, which is kind of fun. We're trademarking that, and we're making it fun.
Yeah.
And what I did was, I'm not doing all this work here. I hired, I meaning my client, and I'm managing at AmericanEagle.com, for instance. And they're a good digital marketing company. And then we did this cool stuff. And then here's an example. Then at the same time, recognizing that it's really expensive to work with some of these agencies like AmericanEagle.com. They are affordable in some areas, in other areas it's like creative and some other things. So I went to Upwork and I hooked up with a good Upwork guy. And I got an Upwork guy that's helping me, working with me, and we're doing creative. Now, look at how fun is this when you're trying to help people get the idea of the importance of don't package naked, instead dress them up. Can I show this?
Please do. Yeah.
Here we go.
It's all yours, Jay.
Yeah, we can hear it. Sad box, Sammy.
Your package experiences 8 to 10 touch points and more during its life. This is where people see it, touch it, process it, and notice by chance, which results in impressions that last. Personalized Packaging Systems, PPS, is here to help you navigate from naked packaging to branded, beautiful, and memorable packaging that can be done in both small or large quantities. We print for you on tape, pouches, paper bags, and boxes. Find us at don'tpackagenaked.com. That's don'tpackagenaked.com. We are PPS, your personalized packaging system. Personalizing your tape, pouches, paper bags, and boxes. Thanks for watching Packaging Pete and Sad Box Sammy on their mission to don't package naked. Dress em up.
Love it.
There you go.
Such personality.
So,
you think about that,
yes.
and
What do you think?
there's so many in this instance, the being able to come in and do this, the company, they probably don't have the expertise to do it.
Yeah.
They don't have the bandwidth to do it. And you, as the conduit, you can actually take the time to learn the company better than the digital marketing agency, because you can go down the hall, talk to people, schedule meetings, talk to the internal people, really gather the stuff in the few minutes of spare time to really collaborate and collect the information you need to transform and to actually produce something like this. Because and a marketing agency will not get to know enough about you through osmosis working with you.
And they're not going to have the guts to say don't package naked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like I scared them all to death. I said, it's okay. It'll be
Yeah.
fun. It's
Yeah.
funny. We're going to keep it G-rated. It's wonderful. We're going
Yeah.
to have some fun with it. People will get the idea, and it's catching on, and it's interesting. And in the whole world of people that are offering packaging, it's like, okay, this is special, and uh, this is what I'm trying to do is help my customer get share of mind,
Yeah.
and and so I'm doing what the CEO of our company would like to be able to do if he had the time, which is orchestrate all this.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so great. I love what Joseph says here. Likes the South Park feel of the video.
Yeah.
Very nice. And that's clear as it gets great video. One of the things I'm seeing, and I'm curious your perspective on this too, Jay, is something as an agency that we're really consciously trying to do more of is offering coaching services. So rather than just a pure do it for you approach, whereas the agency, you come in and you do the work for the client. To your point, there's nobody that's going to know the business as well and as intimately as deeply as someone who's on your internal team, who's worked there, who's been in the industry, So one of the things that, we've been exploring and testing out with some of our clients is offering coaching services for that internal team where you can coach them and have ongoing training on SEO, for example, or content marketing, et cetera, et cetera. Are you seeing from your experience any interest in that arena? What's your feedback on that?
Well, let's see if I understand. When you're talking about coaching, you mean dealing with people that are already employees of the company that
Yes.
have been like handed off as like, okay, Mary, I want you to handle our Facebook posts, and
Yes.
John, I want you do when we need to put a blog thing up on our website, I want you to learn how to do that in WordPress so that you can actually post it, and that you kind of teach them and become the go-to person to teach them how to do it.
Exactly. Yes.
It kind of works depending upon the people that are in the office and how much interest they have in doing it really. If they're like gung-ho, like, oh man, I want to do it. I want to get on the internet and post up in Facebook and do this and create shorts and do this and learn from my digital marketing people so I can do this, and they're into it, you'll get action there.
Yeah.
But if they're the office manager counting,
And they're doing it on the side. Yeah.
and the guy's trying to save money on the posting up activity, it's like pushing a rope. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're going to like go home. They're going to be unhappy. One of the let's see, which is it? People need to be happy at work. And one of the things that I would suggest to you, as you're working with customers, is they're trying to figure out a way to maybe lighten up their financial load, have you teach them how to do some stuff and see how it works. Great idea, teaching and trying to help people. But at the same time, you need to do an assessment of the people that they think are the right people in their office to do this. And you may use one of these assessments like 7 types of working genius, or 6 types.
Yeah.
What are how many types? I'm a big working genius guy. I can't tell you how many types, either 6 or 7. By
Pat
Patrick
Lencioni, right?
Actually, this is a different one. It's Patrick Lencioni with 6 types of working genius. I like that for working groups. Let me get it just right. 6 types of working genius by Patrick Lencioni.
Yeah.
You go to workinggenius.com. If you have a working group, and this counts in whatever you're doing, if you would have everybody, if you go to that website, workinggenius.com, it's a very quick assessment thing. I love Tony's. I'm not discounting my working group approach. I really love with Patrick's Working Genius, and you can find out who's into it and who's not, and where their strengths are, their working geniuses. And I would say, then find out if it's good. And then when your client is saying, can you do this for Mary and everything? Well, let's do an assessment and an interview and see if it's really worked. Because if it's a failure to begin with, based upon what makes them happy in a business situation, then Mr. Customer, I don't recommend we do it. By the way, look, Chris has a comment.
Yeah, Chris has got a great question. I was going to bring that up. And I believe we are. I believe we are suggesting it helps.
Yes,
Can I read it? Let's see.
absolutely. Please
So
do.
it sounds like you were suggesting that the company needs at least one internal person that is focused on managing the relationship with the digital marketing agency. This will help to get the most out of the agency. Do I have that right? Pretty straightforward, but I want to make sure I am understanding the message here. And the answer is yes. And if you
Absolutely.
could figure out a way to bottle that concept or even sell it, is as a digital marketing agency that says, if I don't have somebody within your company that's accessible, understands what you guys do, and we can call and talk to and everything like this, we're going to be bumping along
Yeah.
quite a bit, because every time I want to talk to the main guy that knows everything, he's not available because he's too
Yeah.
busy doing the important stuff, which is making a sale.
Yeah,
And
and
it
it does
comes
help
back.
Yes.
that
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say it does help that person has some understanding of marketing and knows
Yes.
and can understand,
Yes.
the metrics and has some background there rather than just, someone random. I think you made a really good point, Jay, about doing like kind of a resource assessment when you're
Yeah.
starting to work with the client to understand, okay, well, in order for this marketing engagement to be successful, here is what is needed, right? And making recommendations as the consultant to say, these are the resources that you need in order to make this work, doing an assessment of what's happening. And then maybe it's something where they need to hire someone, frankly. If it's not you, maybe they need to hire someone full-time, just depending on how big the business is and that kind of a thing. Just
Or
yeah.
you provide someone.
Mhm.
Call me. Say, I know a guy named Jay Skinner
Yeah.
who fractionally can
Mhm.
jump in, and it was like, we love him and we hate him. We love him because he knows about all this kind of stuff and can work with us. We hate him because he's going to challenge us and push us like most of our clients don't. But he will work on your behalf. And when he steps in, he's you. He can direct things on your behalf. And he's the CEO extender. And
Yeah, and I would
you're
say like
saying that kind of an idea.
yeah, I think it's great from a digital marketing agency standpoint. We want to be challenged because we want to get results for the client.
Yeah.
That is our bread and butter. Like if that's our reputation on the line, not just theirs, right? So I think a
Mhm.
really good marketing agency values, relishes, really cherishes having someone who is going to challenge them, who is going to be able to provide that, internal voice, someone who's going to be available to them, make sure they have a really good understanding of what the overall business strategy is and be involved in that, and involved in what those numbers are. So I think you're, a good and I think that's a really good litmus test with the marketing agency is if there's some resistance or hesitance with working with someone like you, that's a red flag in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
a good marketing agency is going to want and relish that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris is saying, how well does the manufacturing industry understand the concept of fractional outsourced roles?
They're getting to understand it a lot better. It certainly is. I mean, there's a lot of fractional CFOs now we work with. There's a lot of fractional C-level people that are working in the organizations, even COOs that I deal with a lot that are in there because they have, like you said, they're going to buy a company, they're going to open a division, they're going to do these kind of things, and they put those people in place. But coming back to what you said about we're going to have Damon, the whatever person role in our business, he's going to be the one doing the social media posting. You got to, if you're going to do that, you got to do, like you said, you got to do an assessment on that person to see what it is, but it has to go into their scope of responsibilities. And this is the last piece that I see so many CEOs or leaders doing is like, oh yeah, we're going to have Damon do it. And then they never make sure that Damon really understands that, yes, Damon, you're also, processing payroll every week, but you also have to get these social media posts done every day or whatever our schedule is on time every day. It's just as important.
Yes.
And
Google reviews, replying. And we've even gotten into Google pay-per-click and all the Google reviews and making sure your Google business profile is up to speed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to it. There just is a
is.
lot to it. Now, what about now? Everybody's got shorts. Well, so I've got, okay, we want shorts. So what have I done? I have hired a VA and talk about, I've been looking for months for a virtual assistant who had the critical thinking skills that they could take my content like 2.5 years worth of shows, half hour to 40-minute shows, and turn them into shorts with particular topics that they can start blasting away into the different social media. But I don't have time to tell them, well, here's what I'm talking about. I want you to go to number, 10 seconds and then cut here and then do like this and cut here and do like this. I need someone who can look at it, get the idea of what it's about, and put it together without me looking. And I just look at it and say, hey, that guy's pretty smart. I found one finally, and I've got a VA, the cost-efficient VA, who can look at my shows and create 5 or 6 shorts out of it in just no time at all. And she gets it. It's like, thank you, Jesus. That's what I needed.
It's a big
Yeah,
deal.
and you know what's really exciting? We do a lot of that repurposing of content for our clients as an agency. And what's really exciting is to see the really cool AI tools that are coming out now that allow you to just like literally upload your long form content, and within 15, 20 minutes, it'll pull out 20 clips that are captioned, that have, little subtitles and everything. And it's just like amazing to see how that's going to transform, I think, and make marketing so much more efficient and easy for small companies.
It is too fun. I mean, I've been doing Chat GPT with the paid version as long as you could get it, and playing with it. And this Friday, there's a guy named, I don't know if you recognize the name, Terry Brock, but he's the National Speakers Association Hall of Famer. He's also a great AI generative. If it had to do with technology, this is a guy with no hair that's been around for 1 billion years, and he can out-computer most computer guys. And Terry's going to be on my Buyers and Sellers show this Friday morning live, and we're going to do generative AI, a full demo of generative AI, because it's one thing to tell people how to do it. It's another thing. It's like, get on there, actually do it, show them the program to use and how it works, and get people thinking about it. And then what they will realize, most of them, is they need you, Nicole and Damon, and companies like yours, to just do it for them. Because just like my repurposing of all my stuff, I cannot do all that physically. Do I know how? You bet. Do I have time to?
No way.
There's people who love doing it that do not go out and do the crazy things that I do out there in the world. And I want to pay them to do it so that I can do the stuff I love and I'm great at.
Yeah. And I think from an efficiency and from a cost perspective, what's great about AI is it doesn't replace the need for a really good content marketer. Because now what happens is that all of these admin tasks can just get offloaded to someone who's an admin who can take care of that. And then the high level, we need to create a blog post, in-depth pillar page, all of that. You can really have your really strong content marketers, writers work with the subject matter experts at the company to spend their time working on that rather than focusing on some of this other stuff. So you're absolutely right. You still need a person to manage the process, make sure that everything comes out okay, tweak, et cetera. But it's just, if you could just get so much more value with these AI tools. And, like from a video perspective, like Gloss AI is one, Opus Click is another that we've been testing out that allow you to upload this long form content. And it's just amazing what can come out from those tools. It's so cool and exciting to see. Yeah.
So Joseph is asked, I love this private conversation with Joseph between here. He's like, was he at the Florida? Yes, Joseph, Terry Brock was at the Florida National Speakers Association conference. I'm a member of that too. And, I'm a member of the NSA because if you go back to all the greats in speaking and, like I said, Zig Ziglar and all these people, Napoleon Hill, these people, I don't know if Napoleon was a member, but people that knew him was, these greats back 50 years ago were part of the National Speakers Association, and to get to rub shoulders with them, on and on. I'm so thankful for it. Here's something I would like to mention. You talked about teaching and coaching, and I've kind of got a pet peeve about teaching and coaching that's going on there. And I kind of want, as long as I've got this platform, I want to talk to people about buying teaching and coaching that's teaching you how to teach and coach and charge other people to teach and coach and charge people and to teach and coach to charge people to teach and coach to charge people. How long can I stop?
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's
Yeah.
no value,
Oh my.
if there's
Oh
no
my.
value, people listen to their great ideas or whatever they're saying, and then run for the hills.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh
want you.
my.
I will tell you that there's a lot of people out there teaching people how to teach people and charge them to teach people and to charge them. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And if you fall into that cycle by accident, you learn first time, shame on you. Second time is like, oh my gosh, don't let it happen again. Um, your manufacturing e-commerce success. I evaluate what I say and what I do and what I'm doing every day by whether or not I'm actually producing something. And I really, it's like all the smart stuff I tell you about in my shorts and give you this thing and tell you about all these great people I know and everything like this. Is it producing anything? Well, it better, or I want to don't say it. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
do it. I want to do something with people that actually produces something. When I work for a customer, I want to be able to say things like my customers on my website do under testimonies. I did something. I helped them roll out a new division. I helped good things happen, and they loved the work that I did. We produced something. It wasn't ethereal. It's actually producing something. And so make sure whatever you're doing that ties back to actually producing something, and it's not an endless cycle of just spinning the wheel. That's so important.
I love it. I
Bravo.
love it, Jay. I love it, Jay. I was on a show last week and we got talking about the buying the zero down business, and it's the same thing. There's people out there that are out there telling buy the zero down business, and other people teaching people how to buy the zero down business. And the reality is there's very few that are ever done. It's just it's you're making money off of teaching somebody how to teach somebody, like you said. It's yeah. Yeah, good
Well, I
stuff.
don't know who Chris is, but we ought to have him in the show.
Yeah, Chris.
He says, is this why manufacturers are so averse to getting outside help to build internal training onboarding programs that they sorely need?
I think that's been a long time. You know, I started out in manufacturing when I still had all my hair. And it was, and it's been that way for a long time because they really have to, they're so unique in a lot of ways. They figure out a lot of their stuff internally. And it is, but to be competitive now, you have to have a lot more. There's so much technical expertise and so many, like you're talking, Jay, today, just to keep up with the technical expertise and the things that you're doing with digital marketing agencies. It's a huge amount of work just to keep up.
I mean, just digital marketing itself is just the complexity. There's so much complexity that, frankly, you need to partner with vendors in certain cases. You just need to manage it because there's no way for you to be able to do it all in-house unless you hire a full-time, like huge internal marketing department. And, it just doesn't, there's no justification for that if you're under a certain,
and we're just talking about digital marketing here. We don't talk about cybersecurity, supply chain, leadership. We got, they have all these things that they're trying to keep abreast of. And it's really interesting. But I think that this also is driving a lot more manufacturers to go outside their doors, find trusted experts, and get the help they need.
By the way, if you wouldn't mind posting up some of these things, I got my phone number, my email address, my website. If you want to see my best place to go,
what's better? Joseph's asking, what's better, keto? Let's get to that one next because I got
vegan.
Yeah.
Oh, vegan. I promise you, vegan. Well balanced diet.
Yeah.
And
anything that's full of veg and fiber, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's just got to be well balanced. I think.
Okay, look. Rhinoceros success. Now talk about a vegan that eats leaves and plows through the jungle. And there was a guy named Scott Alexander who invented Rhinoceros success. And this is my rhino to remember. And how would you like to be? You're built like this. You can plow through the jungle. You eat leaves. Vegan. Although I'm not, I eat some meat too, but if I got to choose, that's what you do. There you go.
Yeah. Or pescatarian, pescatarian ain't bad.
Pescatarian. That's a fish person.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Pescado. I know what to do when I say that in a Spanish restaurant.
Yeah.
Joseph
think-
says it's like trying to change direction of a gyroscope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been awesome having you here. I mean, we're at the point that we got to start wrapping this thing up, Jay. And it's so much fun talking to you. And are we going to get an outro? We had such a great intro.
Can I play us out?
Please.
You can play us out, but before we do,
Do your final thing.
want to make sure to thank everyone. I mean, Joseph and Chris and Diane and who all else? There's tons of people in the conversation here. We got great comments going on today. Gary, Nicole, it's
Liz.
another great day.
Another great day in paradise with Dave.
Michael.
Yeah. And Jay.
And by the way, Joe, give me a call after the show if you got time. I'd love to talk to you. There you go.
Oh, this is nice from Chris. Thanks for the engagement today. Appreciate all the work you're doing. Chris, thanks for all your great comments and for being so engaged. It's really nice to hear the audience asking questions, and we love it. It's awesome. So thank you.
Yeah. And thanks, Jay. You helped us get a little more engagement in the audience today. Sometimes we get going with our guests and we just miss it, and you're stop. It's just awesome.
I want to ask one more question, if I may.
Sure.
You guys, how do you make money?
Go ahead,
what do you
Nicole.
do, and how do people get in touch with you? How does that?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Nicole. You start.
So I own a digital marketing agency. We specialize specifically in content marketing. We go in and we interview your subject matter experts, and within a half hour of time a month, we're going to generate a month's worth of content for you: video content, social media content, blog content, rich content that will be published on your website and on your social channels and distributed for you. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me at LinkedIn, just Nicole-Donnelly-DMG, or dmgdigital.io is our website. So that's me. That's what I do.
Sign me up. I like it. What do you do, Damon?
Nice. Well, I help business owners in manufacturing, e-commerce, and healthcare businesses solve problems. First of all, they're usually pretty frustrated when they talk to me, but then we get on to a program of building their value, and that includes buying businesses or organic growth. And when they're ready to the size they want, we will sell them. And we're usually going to sell those into an investment buyer, which you and I both agree. I've lived in that PE world. We don't want them to live in there, but they're really good buyers of businesses when you get to that point.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And there's good ways to do it. It's
so nice to meet you. And we prepare, and I mean, all the way. And it's really, you know how it is. They want a business to be set up a certain way, and that's what we really specialize in.
So what I see is, if someone had a business and they're looking down the way, and maybe their kids are not going to take it over, and they'd like to live the American dream, which is get some of the cash out of it, you're probably the guy they should call.
Yes.
That's exactly.
I love M&A, man, mergers and acquisitions.
We fix them before we sell them. That's what we do.
He's the business Zen master. Anyone comes to him with a problem, challenge, Damon's your guy. He's going to bring the Zen. He's going to come up with the solution, and he's going to save the business.
I don't know about that. I'm like you, Jay. I'm like you, Jay. We've been around long enough, and we've been that right-hand person, and we know what it takes to fix the things, and we just get it done. That's what you got to do.
And
get it done.
Digress one way. When it comes to fractional HR guys, the world kind of gets it. Fractional financial guys, the world kind of gets it. Even a fractional kind of COO in manufacturing, the world gets it. There's no COOs and business owners Googling, I need someone to help me. We meet them on planes, trains, and business conferences. Maybe we get lucky online. They say, I'm going to give that guy a call. But it starts with that. Maybe this guy can help me. Maybe Damon is the right guy for me. And they take a chance and give you a call, or they give me a call, or they talk to us on the plane and they say, well, let's try something. This is a very personal business that we're in.
It is.
It is.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
Well, are we done?
Let's go. Let's take us out today, Jay. We're done today, everyone. Thanks so much for being here.
Turn that. See you next time.
All right.
Thanks for another wonderful session of manufacturing e-commerce success, Damon. Kurt, we can't wait for you to be back. We miss you. We're waiting
Yeah.
for you. And Jay, you're phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Talk to you later.